Welcome back for the continuation of our series on the 7 deadly sins of investing. Today, we'll discuss the sin of deceit. There's a story about a man who went to the doctor for his yearly physical. The nurse started getting all the basics before the doctor came in. She said, "How much do you weigh?" He said, 155 pounds. Well, she put him on the scale and he was 205. The nurse said, "Well, how tall are you?" And he said, "I'm 5'8". Well, she put him on the scale and measured him, and he measured 5'5". She then took his blood pressure and tells him, "It's really high." He said, "Of course it's high. When I came in here, I was tall and skinny. Now I'm short and fat." An example of someone who's deceiving themselves. There's a difference between lying and deceit. Lying involves intentional falsehood. You deliberately convey false information, intending to deceive or mislead others. It's most commonly done verbally or through written words that deviate from the truth, creating a deceptive narrative. Lying is typically a singular act where an individual intentionally provides inaccurate information to others. Deceit extends beyond mere lies. It encompasses a broader, more comprehensive strategy of manipulation and trickery. Whereas lying is verbal or written, deceit can include actions, omissions, or concealment of information, creating a web of deception. And whereas lying is typically a singular act, deceit is often characterized by a systemic pattern of behavior involving a series of actions aimed at achieving a hidden agenda. Why do people deceive others? Some people may resort to deceit to maintain relationships or avoid conflict. You might withhold information, manipulate perceptions, or tell lies to prevent uncomfortable conversations or confrontations. You may have a fear of judgment or rejection, which can prompt deceit, as you may strive to present yourself in a more favorable light. This can include exaggerating achievements or your investment results, concealing shortcomings, or fabricating details about your life. You may resort to deceit to protect yourself from perceived threats, consequences, or harm. This could involve concealing information or providing false details to avoid negative outcomes. You may use deceit as a means to achieve specific goals or objectives. This could involve manipulating others' perceptions, spreading misinformation, or engaging in deceptive practices to gain a competitive edge. The desire for personal advantage or gain, whether in terms of financial gain, professional success, or social standing, can drive deceitful behavior. You may deceive others to secure opportunities, promotions, or material benefits. Proverbs 12:5 says, "The plans of the righteous are just, but the advice of the wicked is deceitful." Speaking of the advice of the wicked, let's look at 5 signs Wall Street is taking advantage of your sin or causing you to sin, and typically, it will be for their benefit. Sign number 1. Wall Street will say it's always a good time to buy. They'll say you should never go to cash and protect your assets. Even in the largest downturns, they'll say things like, "Let's ride this out," and "the only people who get hurt are the ones who get off the roller coaster in the middle. So don't get off the roller coaster." And they'll say this regardless of what's going on. Even during the steepest sell-offs, they'll tell you to ride it out. Keep in mind, as long as you keep your money under their management, they still collect their fees. Sign number 2 is they will claim they can assess stock value from PE ratios, which is a lie. Not a day goes by without the talking heads discussing what stocks to buy, which inevitably leads to a discussion of why a stock is a good value based on the company's PE ratio. You'll see articles like this that try to teach people how to use PE ratios. It says the PE ratio is a key tool to help you compare the valuations of individual stocks. Many financial professionals believe that PE ratios are an accurate depiction of stock value and this belief has permeated the entire industry, and most don't even question it. Fortunately, the founder of VectorVest, Dr. DeLito, didn't believe that PE ratios could give an investor an accurate reading of a stock's value. That's why VectorVest doesn't use PE ratios to value stocks. We calculate a stock's intrinsic value, which we'll talk more about later on. Sign number 3 is they'll tell you to buy stocks that are going down. They'll say things like, they're cheaper now. You can buy more shares. If you already owned it, now you can dollar cost average down. Sign number 4 is they'll exaggerate their results, making them appear bigger than they really are. Whether it be the results they claim to have gotten other clients, results their system or course produces, they are exaggerating and thus being deceptive. Sign number 5 is they will give biased recommendations. We also saw this when we discussed hypocrisy. Financial institutions and media outlets pledge to provide impartial advice, emphasizing the importance of informed decision-making. However, behind the scenes, Wall Street, driven by its own interests, may promote biased recommendations that favor certain financial products or companies. Television networks, in the pursuit of ratings and viewership, may amplify sensational narratives, contributing to the distortion of market realities. As investors, it can be difficult to determine what is the truth and what is deception. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "I'm not upset that you lied to me. I'm upset that from now on, I can't believe you." As an investor, once we find out a company, a person, or an institution has lied to us, all credibility is lost. It is important to have a source of information you know you can trust. Now that you know the signs that Wall Street is trying to get you to commit the investing sin of deceit, how do you know if you've succumbed to Wall Street's temptations? Here are 5 signs you've committed the investing sin of deceit. There are 3 big themes of deception. You're deceptive if you flat out lie about something, hide things, or omit things. As we go through these, mark down which of these you judge yourself to be guilty of. You've committed the sin of deceit if you don't discuss the performance of your portfolio with your spouse. If you tell others your portfolio is doing better than it really is. If you tell yourself you're doing better than you really are. If you pump a stock to get others to buy it to push the price up. If you don't share trading ideas or the lessons you've learned along the way. Let me know in the chat which of these signs you've noticed in your own investing. If Wall Street has successfully tempted you and you've judged yourself to be guilty, how do you respond? Your response to the investing sin of deceit is integrity and truthfulness. As with other sins, you must first confess you've been a deceitful investor. Say out loud, "I've been a deceitful investor." George Orwell said, "In the time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act." To that end, here are 4 action steps to avoid committing the sin of deceit. As we go through these, have a pen and paper handy to write them down. Step number 1, you need to be truthful with yourself. If you have not been a successful investor, you need to be honest with yourself. Take personal responsibility. You can only move on to other steps once you have done that. Step number 2 is you need to be truthful to your spouse. You're a team after all. So whatever has happened in your portfolio or is happening in your portfolio, you need to be truthful with your spouse about what's going on. Step number 3, on your journey to improve and become successful, you must seek others who have integrity and speak the truth. Step number 4 is to share trading ideas. Share the wins you've had along the way and share the lessons you've learned. Well, how can VectorVest, help defend you against Wall Street and the investing sin of deceit. VectorVest has been in business since 1988, and our mission statement has always been to provide the best stock market guidance available anywhere at any price. We know if we do that, people will respect us and be long-time members. VectorVest has no skin in the game. We only benefit when our members are making money in the market. We do everything we can to help make sure you are successful. As we talked about earlier, VectorVest doesn't use PE ratios to value stocks. We calculate a stock's intrinsic value. VectorVest's value is a forward-looking indicator that is calculated from forecasted earnings per share, forecasted earnings growth, profitability, and interest rates and inflation rates. To our knowledge, VectorVest is the only service that calculates an intrinsic value, and further, a value which includes the effects of interest and inflation rates. VectorVest's analysis and recommendations are based on data. We use a rules-based system and mathematical formulas to provide actionable information to you. It is not based on personal opinions, biases, or hunches. VectorVest never tries to predict the future. We provide market signals based on the current trend of the market. Our belief is to let the trend be your friend. The timing gauge and color guard will give you this information. The news will try to spin things one way. Your personal beliefs may have you feeling that the market will go another way. The great thing about the timing gauge and color guard is none of those beliefs come into play. It is based on actual data and the trend of the market. The timing gauge and color guard will tell you exactly what is going on in the market. Finally, VectorVest provides weekly coaching and online communities. These groups not only keep you informed and motivated, but give you a place where you can share your wins and lessons with other investors. Share with them and learn from them. 1 Peter says, "For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech." And I'd love to wrap up today with a classic funny quote that I hope you'll enjoy.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you." If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
And with that, I'll wrap up by saying, don't fight Wall Street alone. Let's do it together and come out victorious. Thanks for watching.